There we go. We are live on YouTube. Just had to fix up a few settings. But what's going on? Just actually got back from a huge nap, did some jujitsu and whatnot, with a private. Man, and I'll tell you, not doing jujitsu for a while, really, wow. I'm just so rusty and got a lot of holes in my jujitsu game. But I'm just excited to get back to real life pretty soon. Anyways, if you're dropping by, I thought we could do a few cool things while this stream is popping up. Hold on for a second. So first of all, I have the it's not even popping up. Let me switch the applications. So what I wanted to do was actually kind of go over some of kind of document everything that I'm doing behind the scenes to like plan for content. I have to do this anyways, so feel free to drop in any questions that you may have as well. But I'm going to be kind of walking you guys through everything I'm doing as well, because here's the truth: some of you guys might have questions about starting your own YouTube channel, or kind of curious about what it's like planning behind the scenes of a YouTube channel. And I'll be very transparent with you guys. Like, one of the new formats I'm experimenting with right now and still tweaking with it. I actually have a editor and stuff. I just hired an editor this week, but one of the things that I am doing is experimenting with a longer format and breaking it into like it's like a podcast format, and then breaking it up into smaller pieces. So if you go into my YouTube channel really quick, so if I go to kevinyee.tv, you guys will see this as well. What up, Armor Ghost? How you doing? I know that you're popping in, my boy. That's great. So basically, you'll see a lot of these videos as of recent. I might actually create a new like thumbnail for these live streams as well. But ever since here, this was the first episode. It's been doing pretty well. I mean, don't mind the thumbs down. Honestly, there's been a lot of trolls and stuff like that hounding my channel. Some videos are doing well, some videos aren't, and I think one of the things that I'm trying to do right now is just, it looks like one video never went up, but I gotta add that. But in terms of like everything, like there's certain videos that are doing better than the other, and I think one of the things I'm just doing is just kind of experimenting, seeing what topics are really hitting. And one of the things I've been really doing recently is something I've been calling the weekly hustle. So basically what it is, I just cover some things that I really love. Some things, it's based off Tim Ferriss's 5 Bullet Friday, which is a great series. I actually follow it on his email, but I thought it'd be really cool to do a video format. And so typically what I'll do, if you guys can't tell, let me go into here. I built this whole system out of Notion. So that's the cool thing about Notion, by the way. If you go to refugiehustle.com/Notion, then you can actually get your copy for free as well. And it supports my channel too. So I basically have all of these episodes like that I wrote out. So for example, if I go to episode 1 of the weekly hustle, typically this is a format I'm following, right? There's like a few different main topics, right? What am I reading? Person I'm following, what I'm thinking, what I'm quitting, all these things. And actually, what's interesting, I have a template. And so that's the cool thing about things like Notion. You can build templates out and stuff like that. So this is kind of like almost like a writing prompt to help me sort of figure out what I really want to talk about or write about today. So there's that. So whenever I want to create a new episode, what I'll do is like make a copy and copy paste it as well. And my eyes really bother me at the moment. Holy shit. Ram says, "Hey Kevin, hope all is well." Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Hold on, I'll be right back. I need to change out my contact. I'm back. So I gotta change out my contact really quick. But yeah, that's kind of like the essential process that I have more recently. Um, and I'm trying to find that healthy balance of what gets views, what I can rank for, where I really want to dive into my channel. And first of all, there's a few changes to algorithm as well in terms of YouTube. It used to be very search heavy back in the day, so that's where I learned SEO, and that's how I used to get ranked a lot, was because of SEO. But now, since YouTube is really prioritizing things like watch time and recommended, I gotta tweak. I gotta have it's hard to grow without a specific focus on your channel too, and that's why like I decided to create a new channel too, like for investing, kick-ass investing, so I can really optimize that channel and make that really focused, and so it'll be easier for the algorithm to pick things up as well whenever I do shoot a video as well. And I've been working on working with a tool called Kartra as well to kind of finish out my masterclass and finish out the full course as well. Hope this lockdown hasn't driven you crazy. It's actually driven me a little bit crazy, man. Not too crazy like where I'm like protesting or rioting or anything like that, but definitely it's a rough time for some people. Luckily for myself, I'm in a good position. You know what's really interesting? One of my videos right now, Don't Do Pharmacy, is actually really trending right now. So it has almost 200K views. And what was really interesting about that is because, especially with the quarantine and all that, you're starting to see, like, I feel like a lot of pharmacists, a lot of them are just miserable at the moment, probably because conditions are crazy. I mean, if anybody's still in pharmacy and dropping by, I would love to kind of hear their experience with like pharmacy and all that. But man, in terms of myself, like I'm doing well for the most part, man. Thank God I kind of lowered my expenses over the last, I don't know, few months too. Not really paying high rent and all that. And I think that's really important to actively practice things like minimalism. I actually need to start minimalizing my life. I have a lot of extra books, a lot of extra things that I probably don't necessarily need as well, right? And I find myself, like, even within quarantine, I find myself actually buying a lot more shit, surprisingly, like trying to get that dopamine hit. And it's really, really interesting as well. Yeah, so that's kind of like what's been on my mind in terms of lockdown. Anyways, so back to this is what I've been trying to do. I've been trying to sketch out a few different ideas, at least through the week. One thing I do want to get better at, though, is really being able to I want to get better at hold on, let me move this up here. I want to get better at biting off smaller chunks throughout the week. And maybe I'll make that a topic. And this I just treat as a as like a brainstorming type of document as well. So probably after the stream I will I'll do some SEO stuff, take a look at what other people are doing. I mean, I what I want the weekly hustle to be is like some sort of a little bit of documentation, and also SEO friendly as well. By talking about a lot of different things, I can see what the YouTube algorithm is really trending for myself. And I kind of have an idea of what I'm trending for already, because YouTube, there is you can look up the keywords that people find you with as well, and what channels recommend you for and all that. But one of the things I am trying to do is eventually like pivot away from I want to start pivoting away from pharmacy, because honestly I'm not really in pharmacy too much anymore. Still talk to a lot of pharmacists, obviously, because a lot of them are my friends, and I keep up with current news of pharmacists as well, and some of the needs. But honestly, it's been, I mean, I don't plan on going back anytime soon. I really love this business world, and not to say I want to be a business guru. That's not what I want to do. This really what this channel is all about is really personal branding, and really helping the people like yourselves watching as well, right? I've been really putting more of an emphasis on that. And I think it's been paying off too, because I've been getting a lot of emails from a lot of you guys too. Even this week, I actually helped a high school girl talk about like with her project and stuff like that. It was actually her birthday, and I shot her a quick video about like the breakdowns of pharmacy and all that as well. So yeah. Uh, that video got me to your channel, and to still to this day, great video info about the real expectations. Yeah, that's smart, says Ram. Yeah, a lot of people do find me with that. It's really one of the things. I might do an updated video of it. Because there are a few things I kind of want to mention and clear up, because I mean there's a lot of it has general pretty good reception, obviously, for people that love pharmacy, or people who kind of, what's the word, kind of realize that they probably should have picked a better career path. That is something that sometimes you just take it out on that creator, right? And so I just try to spit the truth. My experience, at least, you can't really deny my experience, and that was it. So yeah, Ram says keep up all the hard work. Do you think the $3 trillion stimulus bill has a good chance of becoming law? Oh man, I actually, to be honest with you guys, I'm not, like, it has me a little bit worried. I mean, people are like, yeah, I'm getting free money, but let's face it, guys. I mean, this is what, printing out more money is not helping the problem. Really, what we need to do is just open up the economy again. And the real question is, when are we headed down a road where it's too far back? I don't believe we're at that point, but you know, this is gonna make people go a little crazy. Let's be honest, right? Like, think about when you're backed in a corner. Like, I'm just trying to think of like other people, maybe blue collar workers, right? They're unfortunately their job is non-essential, and non-essential, so it's so up in the air. I don't even to be honest, I'm not sure if optical, like, I haven't seen any optometrists like open or anything, and it blows my mind that something like that is considered non-essential, right? But I don't know. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me. But to see, you know, I'm thinking about that person who's like really who has been out of work for so long now, and they're worrying about the bills, they're worrying about everything, and like, especially in California, they're like, oh, don't worry. Like, I think there's some sort of forgiveness for something, for some sort of rent or whatnot, but it's gonna trickle down, and it's just bad news for everyone. So I'm not quite sure, and really, I believe that's the only way to move forward as well. The real question is when, right? To be honest, I don't really, like, in California, I don't really agree with the governor and stuff like that, just because of kind of like the ambiguous data as well. Like, I'm always kind of concerned how we're collecting our data, just like you guys should be in any as a pharmacist, right? I know, as a real, like, the truth is, like, ideally we would, as a pharmacist, we would get some time to research some papers to keep up, but honestly, no one got time for that, right? Like, people were worked to the bone, and honestly, like, looking up articles is not essential, right, to the business, to the bottom line of a pharmacy. But if you guys were to review articles, one of the most important things you guys can do is not look at the results. You want to first look at the methodology, and seeing what are they trying to do, and does it kind of make sense, the method that they took, or some of the pros and cons for that. Is that critical thinking that's really important, especially for pharmacy as well. No, it's not just stimulus money. It's loaded with other political things. Things are starting to open up by now, a bit with capacity restrictions. It's not just to me. Just open up everything already, or don't do it at all. That's what I'm saying. I know, like, the concept behind everything is really to reduce like the load on the hospitals and stuff, but let's be honest, like, there's a lot of hospitals that are milking it. Like, and again, I don't know if this is exactly true. I'll preface it with that. But here's the thing. Sometimes like what I have been hearing, if you admit like COVID patients, you're getting higher reimbursement. So that's why you get these crazy stories that where people get like hit by a car and then they find out they have COVID and they get diagnosed as a COVID death. Really, is that accurate data? And that's what we're basing. And if that is true, like strong thing. If that is true, then is that what we're basing our data off of, right? So to me, that's a little concerning, right? As well, right? So I don't know. I think everybody wants everything to go back to new, but I am there's a few things that concern me. Or one thing, the number one thing that actually concerns me is our rights, man. Think about it, like uh freedom is freedom, like our freedoms and liberties, they've pretty much been all suspended. Getting ticket, like, it hasn't happened to me, or I don't know anyone in LA, but I've heard other people in other states getting ticketed for just going outside to and all that. Is that constitutional? And you guys might be like, no, safety is number one. Actually, I would actually disagree. Like, think about how many people die for freedom, have died for freedom in this country, right? Like, you know, when we were freeing France and most of Europe during World War II, how many people died doing that? When the British came over and we had the Revolutionary War and we started this country, how many people died for that? We can't let all those people's like lives go die in vain and whatnot as well. So I'm very pro, like I'm so pro constitution. Like I feel very strongly about that, you know, and that's what our country was entirely based off of, right? So I think it's going to open up a lot of new debate and a lot of new questions about what are we going to do going forward, you know, because at first for a lot of people, they just thought, hey, maybe it's only 1 or 2 weeks. That's what we were told, right? So I think people are willing to compromise, but as things have been going on longer and longer and longer, it definitely raises up questions. I'm curious to see if companies will move out of China going forward. No idea. I have no idea, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm not super political, but I mean, these are like kind of like the thoughts I have. Just knowing how like having a good sense of how data can be really easily manipulated and stuff as well. So yeah. Anyways, back to Notion. Well, and feel free, guys, if you, for the few people that are on here, if you guys want to drop more questions, go ahead as well. Anyways, so like I was saying, what I typically do is kind of drop everything. I drop all the thoughts, all the topics I want to talk about. This is one way that I can like really outline my ideas. And my YouTube thing, there's one more person I want to add. There are YouTube channels that I'm kind of modeling or interested in that have a similar vibe as me as well. So like, for example, some of the channels I'm watching right now, just to get a hold of everything, is like Alex Becker, Tech Lead, Ali Abdal, Matt Diavella, Thomas Frank, some other people. I don't know who this last person is, to be honest with you. And like they basically have like kind of the vibe that I really like, and they're performing very well in the algorithm. Those are two criteria to be like for me to look at the channel. So what I'll typically do is, like, let's say if Alex Becker is like a particular channel I really like, what I will do is I'll go on, and I hope none of his content pops up as well. What I will do is like take a look at his channel, see what's trending right now. What has he recently talked about that is doing really, really well? Because one of the topics that was doing well was dopamine fasting, which I talked about it. It actually did okay on my channel, right, for the small view count as well, right? And I just like to take a look at all this as well, look at their keywords, retype it into YouTube, but it gets really confusing. So I actually have this whole hold on, let me close all this sort of stuff. Yeah. So I actually have this thing, this whole system that I actually built all this out, by the way, um, in terms of things. So what I'll do is I'll look for videos. For example, if I'm going to be doing, let's take a look. And one of the things I'm actually looking for, like for example, when I do dopamine detox, like something like this, um, what I will do is I have two things on right now. I have something called vidIQ and I have TubeBuddy on. And what I'll do is actually, this is a quick way to do SEO because, like, honestly, you could spend forever doing SEO, right? But I'm looking at, okay, views to relative subscribers. So dopamine detoxing is really, really big. This person blew the fuck up 3 weeks ago. And so maybe I should really double down on something like dopamine detoxing and talking all about dopamine detoxing as well. So, and I'll take a look at the tags and stuff like that. But it gets hard. And so what I typically do is actually, this is why I love Airtable, because I can organize all my ideas. So, for example, I built it in a way. So, for example, like let's do this channel for dopamine detoxing. Let's make sure that the audio doesn't play. I don't think it should play, but I'll pause it right away. And I'll pause it right away. And and what I'll do is, like, I'll take the URL, skip this ad, and good, it's not playing. So for example, I'll go here, I'll dump the URL. I'll also, I usually have two screens for this actually. It probably is easier if I do two screens as well. So there's that. And I'll read the comments in a second. I know you guys are talking there, so just give me a second. And I'm here. And what I'll do is copy the headline and copy the views. And this is a really hot topic, so I should probably talk about dopamine detoxing because it's something that I've been doing and something that I've been kind of not necessarily struggling with, but yeah. And we got about what, 3310. So I basically have a view to subscribers, and based off the criteria, I can actually sort this out. So I think, yeah. So for example, if I type in S tier, maybe it's A tier. Should be S tier. Maybe I gotta figure out my filters and stuff like that. But I can like break everything down. I don't think this is completed. That's why it's not picking up. I'll do that, and then if we move down, I'll take a look at their SEO tags. So for example, I'll take a look at this guy's rankings. He's ranking for pretty much everything as well. So what I will do, I'll copy everything. I think these were the only there's only a few that didn't rank. So yeah, I think it's well, I'll just write these down since it's easier. But so I'll do like dopamine detox, dopamine fast, dopamine detox benefits, dopamine detox rule, how to do a dopamine detox. Obviously normally I'd be copy pasting it, but I only, and the rest, dopamine detox Reddit. All right, so I'll copy the SEO tags as well, so I just have that, and then basically I'll take a look at all these, take a look at what the primary keyword, the best keyword out of all these is. There's a few criteria. One of the things that I want to make sure, and I wrote it down in my template somewhere, is having a search volume of 100 to 1000, search pool that is less than 1000 as well. And if you're wondering what that means, basically, if I go into actually keywords everywhere says there's not too many people looking for dopamine detox, but so I'm kind of curious what's happening with this as well. So if I open this up, so basically this actually fits that criteria. So dopamine detox, think search pool is like what, 88.2, 88.2, 200,000. And then search volume is actually going to be 0 right now. Let me just go to google.com. Dopamine detox. And let's take a look at the search volume. Actually, it's 0. So it's pretty interesting because I feel like this is a big topic. But who knows? It could be off. It's not just because there's one criteria that doesn't fit doesn't mean that it's a bad topic. So that's kind of like how I do SEO in a nutshell. And then eventually I will do my own tags, my own working title and whatnot. And what's really cool about like what I built out to is like I can actually break it into a calendar. I can, and let me make this bigger. Can break it up into a calendar. I can do something like Kanban where I can move it through. I haven't actually been using this too much, to be honest with you, but I shared visibility with my editor. There's a gallery, and then these, I think these are a lot of the different SEO topics that I have like in the bank as well, if I just want to filter out all those things. What eventually I want to do as well is actually so I have this I use Airtable to kind of survey everything as well. So in my email list, I actually send a survey through SurveyMonkey right now. I'm going to make this live though. I'm going to use this one and survey people as well. So that's kind of like the strategy of like the funnel as well. So people can understand like what I do behind the scenes. I don't think a lot of people know what I do, to be honest with y'all. So yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. I'm curious to see. I heard a lot of hospitals and pharmacies and clinics are losing money despite the pandemic and are forced to furlough some doctors and nurses among other healthcare professionals. That is from what I heard, it's true. Like there's a lot of people who are being furloughed, especially in healthcare at the moment. So yeah. The reason is COVID became the priority, but there was no overwhelming of hospitals in almost the entire country, not even close. NYC is the only dense areas. It's kind of sad, and I think Armor said hospitals have been so empty that nurses have the time to make silly TikToks videos at work. So funny, but it is true. It is empty. A lot of nurses are and doctors are actually getting laid off, especially the procedures that are non-essential. And I think that's really, really dangerous because when things do open up, it's gonna backlog into a lot of things. Like, I mean, for example, one of the things that I need right now is like probably new contacts as well, right? But unfortunately, like that is, I think that's considered non-essential. So I can't go to an optometrist to get my eyes checked or anything like that. I think dental is considered non-essential too. So it's just like I get it. We're in a pandemic. We didn't really think this out that well, but I figure like it's just like considering what's essential and non-essential. I'm not even sure like what the criteria is for that. I was actually doing some Google searches earlier, just kind of curious about everything as well. So, and yeah, plus they're milking the pandemic bonus money on top of that too for doing nothing. The decision on the 3 trill will tell you how much of a give me that country we've become. It's really sad actually. Like, I forgot who there's a lot of people that are really they're like, oh, man, I hope this happens even longer. But I mean, honestly, like it really this isn't a good thing. By keeping our country closed for so long, it's not a good thing. This is not a good sign. This is not how we're gonna get out of the financial slump. But being Americans, I have a good feeling that we'll get out of it. But I just don't want to be past the point of no return, I guess, right? Because there is that point, right? We can only take on so much debt as well, and I mean, we already had a debt problem before this. Before this as well. Um, Esther says, "Hey Kevin, hi Kevin, hi everyone. What's going on, Esther? How you doing? Tell me what's up." I heard that with the 1200 check issue last time, people spent it frivolously. Like people lined up to buy new Air Jordans. Well, that's stimulating the economy, man. Real talk. Unfortunately, when you get hooked on free money, it might be hard to get off. It's like taking drugs away from an addict. Yeah, people here's the truth. It's just like a sense of, you build this sense of entitlement, whether that's intentional or not. I mean, that's just the case. Think about it like this. I've seen it firsthand with a lot of like Medicaid patients as well, right? Um, like people that have been on Medicaid for the longest time. Like I remember that we had patients on it for a really really long time, pretty much almost all their life, and they just expect everything to be free in their life as well, right? And not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but they've essentially become conditioned to kind of expect everything for free. But the truth is nothing is free in life. Like people just, it's really hard for people to, I don't know, for some reason, like it's hard for people to understand that concept that this is not free money, right? This is, I mean, it's, we're essentially getting our own money back, but this is essentially printed, we're taking on more debt to kind of hold us through, which, you know, as well, like, and I feel like that's the thing that's lacking. People don't realize that this is not free money. Nothing's ever free at all whatsoever. Um, Another interesting things is looking toward how logistics will turn out. There's meat production issues, guns and ammo largely sold out. Some shops report material shortages. Esther says hi from 3 feet of plexiglass. Funny stuff, guys. Yeah, you know, like you're starting to see it. Like even at my local Costco, they're limiting the amount of meat people have as well. So I mean, it's gonna be like, because it's not that we're having like a shortage, but it's like impact. It's a change in our supply chain as well. Because apparently, I was watching a video on it. Don't know if it's true or not. Right? I'll preface with that. But apparently, like a lot of the meat supplies and all that were going to things like restaurants and whatnot, because there was a high demand in those industries as well. And then and then um more is having to, like, obviously with everything happening, more has to go to the supermarkets and things like that as well, right? So I do feel fair for the government to somehow distribute money for damaging them with lockdowns, but it's so easy to mess this up economically and politically. Maybe a better answer is to increase tax benefits for the rest of the year. Who knows? To be honest with you, I would love. I mean, I don't know. As a independent contractor, like running my own business, I mean, dude, like it's crazy what, not crazy what you can write off, but this country is really the land of opportunity. It made me realize how much it's a land of opportunity. Imagine getting everything 30 to 40% off, right? Well, like for your work, obviously equipment, materials, operation costs to the business, right? For not everything, but for a lot of different things. You know, that MacBook Pro that you wanted for that you wanted, right? If you start a business, you can write that off, and you essentially get that tax benefit. And yeah, it's pretty cool stuff, man. I played the original Oregon Trail pretty recently. Fun stuff. It's funny. Like I remember Oregon Trail, you can like shoot all buffalo and stuff like that. It's crazy, bro. But yeah, fun stuff. Anyways, guys, it is what, 6:51. I think people I don't know. Today was a little bit slow stream. I played with a new headline as well. So it may be, I don't know what's going on today, but it's a lot slower than usual, but no problem. I mean, I think that's the thing with marketing too. Like, to give my final thoughts, I feel like that's what marketing is all about. You try new things, some things work, some things don't. It's all good, right? Like, that's just the way things are. Um, are you making any trade moves or crypto? Any also thoughts on stock market? Honestly, I haven't really been taking a close look at crypto. I know there's that whole halving with like Bitcoin and whatnot as well. I haven't made any major stock trade moves or anything like individual stocks as well. I'll be honest, I just don't really have the necessary like the time to make those individual plays and stuff. Like, it's weird. So maybe I'll talk about this concept a little bit. But by taking a look at, there's a lot of research that goes into investing into individual stocks and stuff. And so right now, since I'm focused on kind of the business side of, but if I spent that time researching stocks, it takes into the business time where I'm creating a long-term asset. For example, optimizing my landing page or product service offering or um, necessarily fulfillment for the business. I'll get better ROI on those things than I would on the stock market per se, or at least lifetime value as well, right? I know that it's super, 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 super crazy right now. A lot of my friends who are doing options are like freaking killing it at the moment, right? And so, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things happening. I haven't really checked it out. I probably, once I finish my the core course for kick-ass investing, I'll free up a lot more time where I'm not so busy doing courses, like doing like shooting videos for the course and updating everything for the course as well, right? For kick-ass investing. So I'm really focusing on that at the moment. And obviously, my main money maker, high ticket closing, which so ironic, like, as it's so funny because I took that course, Dan Locke's high ticket closer. I've been able to kind of create this life. It wasn't the, even though I don't agree with everything that happened with that organization, it's still, I still owe a lot, not a lot to it, but it opened up a lot of doors for me. Like, I got to meet a lot of the top closers in the industry. I not through that program, by the way, but outside that organization, I found out people were in this for a long freaking time. There's that. Introduced me to some of my closest friends, and where I could introduce them to each other, and they're actually working on projects together. So there's that. Also, I think if it wasn't for that course, like that brain mind shift, like I don't know, it's a really great personal development course, honestly, too. And because I took something like that, it really shifted the way that I approach things like sales and market, sales especially, because I had a huge fear of selling as well. And I still think it's a bit there, but obviously when you sell for a living, everything you do is selling, right? You're selling some sort of idea or a money or whatever, it's like basically you're selling an offer every day, right? Uh I'll give you X for Y dollars, right? That's what marketing and sales, or that's what sales is at the end of the day. It's just creating an offer. People can buy, they can choose not to buy, but I just really want to focus on an offer. Stocks going forward are forward looking. I think everybody expects commerce to resume and employment to pick up. So I it may have bottomed out already, but if something unexpected happens again, it could drop again. How much is anyone's guess? I mean, yeah, there's no one really knows. I mean, at the end of the day, um, it might be who knows with the thing. Like, it really depends how much. Like, I guarantee, like, prolonging our economy by, or prolonging a lockdown for 3 more months, like in California, is not going to help the economy, right? That's why Elon Musk was so pissed. He was like, "Fuck you guys, gonna go to Texas." I don't think he ended up doing it, from what I heard or read on Joe Rogan's podcast or something like that, or somewhere else. But that was a pretty boss move, and I think I think we're right, man. Like honestly, it goes back to kind of also, yes, I understand both sides of the coin, but it goes back down to personal responsibility, knowing that if you go out, there's two things. You're putting yourself at risk. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you could be potentially putting others at risk, but is that essentially coddling by the government? I feel like as well, like that we're having this issue as well, right? Like people aren't helpless. I think, well, I always got to watch out what I say about that because I don't know. Sometimes like it blows my mind about the decisions that certain people make as well. So it's just interesting. It is still a reasonable time to chip in money into stocks, in my opinion, but diversify and only put in what you don't need for a while. Amen. I mean, like I converted a lot of my stocks already, or converted all my um all my bonds and stuff and all that into stocks. By the way, so I doubled down into it. So we'll see what happens. Like I'm excited to see the rise and stuff like that as well, but I mean, it's a pretty good time to be investing. Like this is like, you know, because I have full faith that the economy will go up eventually. It's just a matter of when. And it's always the game of like how soon do you need your money, to be honest with you, right? How soon do you need your money? And can you last that long without sorry, can you last that long uh in the stock market before you need it? If you're younger, you probably don't need the money anytime soon, right? So you can ride out the waves and whatnot. But if you're a lot older, it's pretty rough, right? And if you were super aggressive, it's probably yeah, it's probably it's a little more rough, guys. Anyways, that is pretty much it. I'm gonna wrap this up. So just want to thank you guys for the few that did come here. Thank you for tuning in. I will stream next week at around 6 p.m. Eastern or Pacific Standard Time. Make sure to check out the weekly hustle this week as well. Putting in a lot of work, a lot of resources into it. Gonna be making it better. I'm gonna focus on it and see how performance does, and really go from there, guys. Anyways, I will talk to you later. Have a great rest of your day. Take care. Peace.